I mean, think about it. You know, power comes in numbers, and I experienced that firsthand when I did time in Arizona, where I had never done time on this side of, you know, the United States, because in Chicago it's very different. In Chicago, it's what gang you're in. It's not what race you are. You know, we have white, black, Latin kings. There's every kind of race you could possibly think of. So it goes by gang. It doesn't go by race. So when I came to Arizona,
were you in Tent City Jail at all?
yeah.
Talk about the Tent City Jail.
So when I went to Arizona and I got sent to the tents, I actually, you know, got there and they were like, who are you going to sit with? Are you going to sit with the Biceps or the Chicanos? And I was like, wait,
I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do.
it's the same fucking thing.
They're so stupid. Arizona is a stupid.
And they were like, no, it's not. They're illegals. We're legal. And I was like, so you're telling me to pick between my mom and my sister? That's the way I looked at it. You know, because my mom, you know, came from Mexico and my sister was born here.
Pisces didn't have a lot of strength.
No. Not back then they did it. Now they do. Now they're one of the biggest gangs in the federal government. You know, they picked up so many of them that they're actually huge in the feds.
Oh, when I was in Phoenix, in tents, like they were.
Like they're big now. They're big. They don't take shit from nobody no more.
Who'd you choose to?
I sat with the Paisas.
Did you?
You know, I'm proud to be Mexican. I'm proud to be. I call it raza. So you know, I sit with them. I think it's dangerous because there's so many drugs in there that people are not thinking right, and the heat makes people have short fuses. I think the hardest thing there is the heat, the racial tension. But other than that, I mean, it's not a bad prison to do time in. I mean, if you really want, if you're fucked up.
Not a lot of hardcore people.
You know, if you're fucked up and you want to do some drugs, go to Tent City. You know,
so. Drugs. I never even saw crystal meth in my life till I got to Tent City.
So, you know, it's not a bad place to be at.
And it's kind of like a side show. Like, I mean, the whole pink underwear and that. It's really like a marketing thing for Arpaio, or it was.
Well, I mean, it was. You know, I met the new sheriff now. He's actually.
Oh, you interact with the new sheriff?
Yes.
You think he's?
Yeah, I mean, we went. I got invited to the Players Breakfast Club. It happens once a year, and I have a couple pictures with him. He gave me his card. I mean, we were supposed to get together about me going into the 4th Avenue jail to see what I could do about speaking.
You weren't in it, so you don't know the internal.
Well, the Bloods are cousins to the Latin Kings.
So you're considered allies.
We run together in federal prison.
Oh, so that must form one of the stronger groups in federal prison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was in Florida, we were one of the biggest groups because us and the Bloods together, it's pretty big. But, I mean, we go back to like what we were saying.
The Bloods would be from all over the country.
Washington, everywhere, you know, but we go back to the thing is that, you know, glorifying. I mean, let's be honest.
It's a lot of scared kids trying to use the name to.
Exactly. Let's be honest. I mean, gangster, I call it gangsterism. It's probably not even a word, but it's been glorified in the United States since day one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Goodfellas, The Godfather, Al Capone, all Scarface. All these movies has always glorified the whole gangster life. That then after that, the rap took over. They started glorifying it even more. So now you got a bunch of kids running around, you know, saying they're either Latin Kings or Bloods or this. And I think the Bloods got more of the spotlight because there were so many rappers at one time that were claiming to be Bloods that it just got put out there so much that, you know, there was Bloods popping out everywhere. I mean, it was crazy how they grew. I mean, just like, what's his name, that rapper that just got in trouble?
Chicano.
So, you know, everybody wants to be part of something. But like I said, man, I don't glorify none of that shit. And if I could fucking talk to some of these kids, I would be like, don't be stupid and don't get used by these high level guys that are just using you for they could profit, pretty much. That's all it is.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you, man. I want to say thank you because of my last interview. Obviously it got a lot of views and a lot of people reached out to me and I haven't had no negative comments. They've all been pretty positive. Maybe one out of like 50. But, I want to say thank you to everybody and really, give me the opportunity to actually share my life, my story, my trials and tribulations. And pretty much all I'm trying to do is just, give you that light to show you that it is possible to change. It is possible to, own your company and do something with yourself, even if you didn't go to school. I got my GED at 30, so it's like, it is possible. So all those guys just like me, you can get out of that gang. You don't have to be afraid. You can get out, change your life. People that are positive, that are doing something, and you'll see how your life will start to change. Don't say, I want to change, and
do it.
Still in the hood and just hang out with the homies and not be involved, because all it takes is that 1 second where you're there and it could be over. It doesn't matter. You actually have to cut ties and not be there no more and actually change your life. So with that, I just want to say, thank you for all the support, everything, all the comments, man. And there's gonna be a lot of shit happening this year. Wrong to Strong.
What kind of content you have on there?
We're creating pretty much, my channel, it has, motivation. It has information for felons. It has, fitness, diet, pretty much my whole life, my everyday. We recorded all day yesterday. I was at the String Cartel with Big Boy and Pitbull yesterday, powerlifting. Just showing these guys that, man, I came from the streets and everything. Look at what I'm doing now. I'm about to release my book. I'm working with my book with, your boy. And, I would have never thought that I was doing all this stuff. I would have never thought that they're inviting me to come and speak. They're asking me to speak and go to places. So it is possible. And all I got to say, man, is if you dream big and it happens.
But, and this is what I always try to emphasize, the hard work, the hard work.
Hard work, man. We drove for 6 hours straight to get over here, do these interviews, do these workouts. We knocked out yesterday about 10 o'clock dead, and then we got up this morning to come and do this interview. Same thing today. We're going to go do some other stuff and then do another interview tomorrow. It takes a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it pays off. And just like I said, this is something they can't take away from you. They can't slap the cuffs on you and give you 10 years for conspiracy. They can't, pull you away. Like, this is hard work. And, like I said on my video, my probation officer said, keep up the good work and you'll be off of probation by October. This will be the first time I get off of probation since I've been 16 years old. So, like, hard work does pay off. And if you do the work, shit does really fucking change.
Man, that's excellent. El Chapo's trial is currently underway in New York and at the same time in Chicago, so it's possibly the largest RICO case against a black Chicago street gang in history. The Four Corner Hustlers, who are accused of running a retail drug empire and committing multiple murders. The drugs the Four Corner Hustlers would have sold would have mostly come from El Chapo's Sinaloa Cartel, who used Chicago as their distribution hub through most of the 2000s and after 2010, but they passed through several layers of middlemen first. One of these middlemen was a Latin King gang leader named Rudy Kato Rangel Jr. Kato Rangel's 2003 murder is one of the homicides included in the Four Corner Hustler racketeering case. Here's how the murder happened. In May 2003, Martise Nunnery, a member of the Unknown Vice Lords, got in touch with a guy named Marcus Ware, who worked at the barbershop that Kato frequented, and told Ware to call him next time Kato came to the barbershop.
Under oath, Ware said Nunnery told him he'd pay $1,500 to $2,000 for fingering Kato when he showed up at the barbershop. Ware said Nunnery told him that he was going to kill Kato because he was going to get a $190,000 bounty plus 15 kilos of cocaine, which is a lot of money to pay to get somebody killed. Nunnery reached out to a guy named Labar Spann, one of the leaders of the Four Corner Hustlers, which controlled big chunks of Chicago's west side. Labar Spann's first serious case was back in June of '97 when he was just 18. Spann had been charged with murder and aggravated discharge of a firearm, but found not guilty. His two co-defendants got 60 years in prison. Spann walked. Not long after beating those cases, Labar Spann got shot. He was confined to a wheelchair, but he still managed to be in the streets and rise to a high rank in the Four Corner Hustlers. So Labar Spann finds a shooter for Martise Nunnery, and his name is Donnell Squeaky Simmons. Simmons was recently paroled from prison, and he was offered between $10,000 and $30,000 to kill Rudy Kato Rangel, Latin King's gang leader.